Rescue. You're taking a live look right now at Capitol Hill, where the Secret Service is going to brief the House Oversight Committee a little bit later this morning about the cocaine that was found near the West Executive entrance of the White House, not far from the Situation Room 11 days ago. This all apparently happened while the Biden family was out of town at Camp David, about 45 minutes away from the White House. Still, 11 days later, we don't have a name.
Yeah, that's the question. Will we have a name today? Hogan Gidley is still with us. We are also joined by former Secret Service Special Agent and Newsmax contributor Charles Marino. Good afternoon. I'm thinking it's afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back.
I'm already on afternoon time.
Good afternoon. Charles, I want to start with you. So you were with the Secret Service for 20 years. What are you hearing? What are your contacts telling you? Do you think we get a name today?
I'm not sure that we do. And I think what's being missed here by the Secret Service is based on where the cocaine was found at the White House. This entire situation demands a resolution. And I think that's where you're going to see the Oversight Committee come from. I think it's incomprehensible to the American public that cocaine can be found in a secured area, the most secured location in the United States, and that the Secret Service at this point in time still has no leads in who left this substance in the West Wing of the White House.
Charles, just a quick follow-up. There's hundreds of cameras in the White House. You've been there many times. How could they not see? I mean, it's not like we have 10,000 people going through the White House at that one time.
Well, this is where it's frustrating, I think, to everybody that's listening to this, is if you listen to the Secret Service, and what I'm hearing is they're exploring all avenues, right? The cocaine and the bag that it was contained within has been sent down to the lab with
Charles,
the FBI.
I know you got to say that because you know a lot of these people over there. And look, I can appreciate that. But do you really buy that the Secret Service doesn't know who did this?
Well, knowing the type of people that are within the agency and the type of investigators that they are, no, I think there's a lot more. And that's where I was going with this is if you're talking about the cumulative information that they're compiling, the access visitor logs, the time frame that they've established, the video, it goes on and on regarding the technologies and resources that they have available to them. I think it's extremely frustrating that we have not heard more from the agency, and certainly not a name, that the investigation is progressing much faster than what it's indicated as doing. And I think the fact that the only person that's giving a no comment on this or other types of information that's confusing is Karine Jean-Pierre, I think is putting everybody in a bad spot here. And I don't think the American public is buying it. So the quick answer is, yes, Rob, I think they should have better answers for us and the American public.
All right, let me bring in Hogan Gidley. I want to get your take on where we are 11 days later. What the rest of the media wants to happen is for this just to go away. If we don't talk about it, this story just kind of drifts off into the ether, but we're not going to let that happen.
Of course not. And if they do find out who it is weeks later, then the media can say, look, this is old news. We've already covered it. It's like a freebie for them, per usual. The arrangement they have with the White House, the media, big tech, everybody else. But look, anybody who commits a crime in this country, if they are on camera, they're usually picked up pretty quickly because the investigators, the police, they find them, they use all the data they have in front of them, and they figure it out. We're talking about the White House here. And the entrance where they found this cocaine is not a heavily trafficked area, regardless of what the White House is trying to sell to the American people and to the press. It is a very secure location. Now, people of different stripes can come through it. Cabinet secretaries, big donors, VIPs. Yes, family members can come through that door. And also people who are senior staff who drive in and park there. They don't have to go through the same security checks that others have to go through. But again, because of where it is, and I said this when this first happened on your show, that narrows the field of people to kind of be looking at here. It shouldn't be quite that difficult. And I would argue the U.S. Secret Service, who does an outstanding job. They are amazing patriots and great Americans. They take bullets for the President of the United States, quite literally in times of trouble.
No, Hogan, I'm with you. So I get that. You know what they say about me on TV? You're only as good as your last show. You know what I mean? So the Secret Service, are they going to punt this? Or are we actually going to get a name and find out who actually brought cocaine into the White House? Because it's really important.
I think sooner or later we will find out. It may not come from a briefing from the U.S. Secret Service. It may come from a leak, but I think we do find out. There's just too much at stake for the American people not to know what's going on in the people's house.
Charles, I mean, what happens next if we don't know the name? Is this investigation closed and we just don't find out ever?
Well, here's the wild card, Allison, and that is right now the Secret Service is the lead in the investigation. They're working closely with the FBI, as I indicated earlier, with the forensics evidence and compiling all of that. What I can tell you is the FBI has the authority, essentially, even though it's the White House, to take over any investigation that it wants, as long as it's tied to national security.
Terrific.
Right?
Charles, I just don't have a lot of trust here. I don't mean to cut you off. We're tight on time.
In the wind there.
We just can't get the truth about anything when it comes to this administration. And here's the thing: we can have these segments and book guests. Hogan, we can have you on and talk about this. We've done this for 11 days. Look, if it wasn't Hunter Biden, just tell us who it was, and we will all move on. So simple. So simple. But the fact that the Secret Service can't figure out who brought cocaine into the most secure building in America, maybe the White House, is pathetic 11 days later.
I think they have figured it out. The real issue is if we don't get a name, everyone's going to assume it's Hunter because he's the one with the cocaine problem.
That's it. Does the investigation end today and we get a name, or does the cover-up continue? That's what the American people are asking, Charles. I'm sorry to say that, but that's where we are.
No, that's
exactly
right.
Accountability.
Look, the Secret Service has got to realize that the situation they're in right now is either remain an independent agency here, don't worry about the administration and any blowback from them,
protect
or
the Biden administration,
risk your credibility as taking part of a cover-up.
All right, we got to leave it there. Charles Marino, Hogan Gidley, appreciate it. We'll stay on it today.
We'll see what happens.
We'll let you know what we find out. All right, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you.